this attitude. Quickly wipe away the tears on my face. The fox said angrily. I said, there is a type of Malaysian domino. I can help you achieve your weight loss goals. But that thing is a shadowy mist. It will have a certain impact on you. I haven't finished speaking. He stood up directly from the bed. Can't wait to ask. What is a Malay domino? How much is it? Hurry up and get it for me. Don't worry. There won't be any shortage of money in this area for you. The corner of my mouth twitched. I can't stand the bad habits of these nouveau riches. Mr. Zhu is like this. Fang Fang is the same way. Being rich is impressive, huh? I help out for the sake of Huang Yun's feelings. I don't expect to make any money at all. Fang Fang stood with her hands on her hips. Don't give me that. I still don't know. What are you guys thinking, you bunch of smelly men? If it weren't for being attracted to Huang Yun's face and figure, what about the money at home? How could you possibly grovel to please Huang Yun? I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Forget it. It's hard to explain things to someone who's not thinking straight. If Huang Yun were a standard goddess, as her best friend Fang Feng, she's a complete goddess with a mental illness. It's still me who suffers by getting into a quarrel with someone like that. I patiently said, so have you thought it over? Dominoes are shadows. It will have some impact on life, more or less. Can you stop talking so much? Hurry up. How much money is really needed? Fang Feng's temper. It makes me look particularly bad. With gritted teeth, he said, 20,000. The cost price of the dominoes should actually be over 6,000. Just need to take international shipping. Add in Zhu Bapi's profit share. When it was handed to me, at least 15,000. I originally didn't plan to make money from Fang Fang, but I can't stand all her bad habits. Thinking that 15,000 is for 20,000 is also given. Damn it. Why not earn it if you can't? I thought the price of 20,000 was already very high. Maybe Fang Feng will think it's too expensive. Who knew this chubby girl would say something? You made me spit out my food. Only 20,000. It can't be junk, right? I can't stand counterfeit goods the most. Don't try to fool me with counterfeit dominoes. Auntie is not short on money. I'll just add another 10,000. You turn my fate into gold. I have been accustomed to using the best since I was young. I've never worn such cheap jewelry before. So embarrassing. The evil capitalist consumption trap. Look at how they treat girls in the country. What has the rescue become? I bit down on my molars and said, okay, of course, you have no problem with money. I promise to give you the best and most expensive one. I'm really upset. That day, they found Zhu Bapi. Take the deposit just brought from Fang Fang. He slammed it onto the table. The client requests an increase. 20,000 dominoes are not worthy of his status. It must be something more domineering. Zhu Bapi was also at a loss whether to laugh or cry. There are really a lot of oddballs these days. I already feel like a scheming merchant. I didn't expect that someone would think my selling price is too low. I said, don't talk nonsense. Can you follow the instructions? Zhu Bapi smiled broadly, his face resembling a blooming chrysanthemum. Since the client has a request, I will definitely comply. And let's just go for it. I gave you the enhanced version. Ensure outstanding results. Because it's overseas purchasing agent, the dominoes cannot be delivered today. I can only patiently wait for 4 or 5 days. During this time, Fang Fang called me countless times. Hurry and bring over the dominoes. I wore a face. What's the rush? That thing needs to be imported from abroad. It takes at least 3 to 5 days for shipping. Fang Fang mumbled to herself. What boat are you taking? Time-consuming and labor-intensive. Isn't it better to just buy him a plane ticket? Fema, Malaysia. It won't take more than 5 or 6 hours. I really can't stand the way you poor people behave. If you're short on money, you can just tell me. Got it. I should have asked for a lot more. Ask for an extra 30 or 50,000. I waited in vain for a week. The spirit tablet has finally arrived. I got it from Zhu Bapi. I pressed on a shabby box wrapped in black cloth. It may be due to bumps during transportation. This box is flat. Everywhere is a pit. I wonder if the things inside will get crushed. Hurry up and open it for inspection. Open the outer packaging. Fortunately, the dominoes inside were not affected. I looked left and right while holding the dominoes. A gold-plated amulet the size of a baby's palm was discovered. The back is an acrylic plastic mold. It was filled with exquisite gray. One in earth. There are still some greasy, grayish-white bone remnants. The surface of the sign is indeed coated with a layer of gold, but the craftsmanship is rough. It is quite obvious that the front of the sign has a plastic embossed pattern. A gaunt, ethereal woman appears on the screen. Both hands were tied with ropes, maintaining a bizarre kneeling posture, wearing several heavy iron chains on my feet, firmly secured. The woman's body was so thin she seemed like just skin and bones. A piece of meat still hung above his head. She stretched her neck and made a biting gesture. But because the body was bound by iron chains, even if I stretched my neck really long, but could only watch helplessly, I pointed at the distorted pattern on the domino. What is this? This is a very ancient form of torture. The punishments in the old era of Malaysia were very cruel. To punish those who steal palace food, they will tie the criminals to the wooden frame, baking under the sun. Food and water were hung above the prisoners' heads with ropes. Let him see it, but can't eat it, Jubapi said. After enduring days and nights of torment, the criminal may die from dehydration and hunger. Then those court mages, they will peel the skin off the criminal's bones, leave the useful bone parts to polish the material. He pointed to a small patch of yellow liquid behind the plastic mold. This is oil. It is made from the flesh roasted off the convict's chin. Jin Mayo Huey is also known as Fen Tu Tu. Mix in the ashes of the prisoner and the sound materials, the main part used to make dominoes, after being empowered by the powerful golden spells of those mages. This became the domino. I became worse. Just thinking about the process of making dominoes, it gives me goosebumps. Couldn't help but complain. These ancient royal courts were too cruel. Isn't he just a thief? As for using such a cruel method of torture, killing is just a matter of a head touching the ground. Do you still want someone? Jubapi shook his head. Brother, you are mistaken. Did you think the ancient Malay court was killing people? It is for the purpose of setting a clear example. Actually, they do this. It's just to replace Master Wang Ting, just providing cultivation materials. Southeast Asia is different from home, especially the court magicians raised by the ancient royal families. It's definitely not a good thing. In pursuit of ultimate magical power, they will choose living people for experiments. Study various sinister black magic techniques. I don't know how many struggling working-class people became materials for practicing the yin technique. I placed a white piece. This thing is really eerie. It really won't be a problem. Don't worry. The instructions for use are written inside the box. The surface is filled with dense and intricate tadpole script written in red ink. It should be the writing from Southeast Asia. I can't understand a single word, Ju Bappy patiently explained. This is Parisian language. In addition to recording the precautions for wearing bone tiles, it has the spirit star spell marked on it. I will translate it for you word by word. Dai na pinyin by Aja Shang. You must not mispronounce the spell. Otherwise, it won't meet the client's requirements. Busy for half a day. I finally wrote down the spirit star incantation from the note. Before stepping outside, the phone rang again. As expected, I just pressed the answer button. From that side came Fang Fang's roar. Why, Nana, are you deliberately messing with me? We've been waiting for you for a week. When will the delivery be made? I will be back in Chongqing soon. I hurriedly said, Don't rush. I'll bring this to you. After hanging up the phone, I rushed to take a taxi to Huang Yan's house. Sure enough, Fang Fang had already packed up the large and small items, preparing to end this journey here. As soon as I walked in, she shouted with a loud voice, Where are the things? Here. I decisively handed over the dominoes. Fang Fang looked at the shabby packaging box, immediately filled with disdain. But still I steeled myself and opened it. She tore open the outer packaging box, exposing a domino the size of a baby's fist. She just glanced and said with a pouting expression, This thing looks awful. The image in the middle is quite scary. What a piece of junk. 30,000 yuan bought this. I quickly reminded her, Don't speak carelessly. The dominoes have entered zero. The things inside can hear you speak. If it makes her feel offended, what if something goes wrong? Don't blame me. My words startled Fang Fang. The yellow clouds nearby were also restless. No way. Is it really that magical? I patiently said. Of course, it's very clever. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to help Fang Fang. Next, I followed the instructions on the note. Remind Fang Fang, after you go back, you can find a dry, dark place. Hang the dominoes on the wall. Remember the position of the offering dominoes. Do not approach the bathroom and kitchen. Try to avoid touching filthy things. Fang Fang said, Why do we hang it on the wall? Can I not carry it with me? I shook my head and said, This is a card. It's best not to stay nearby for too long, especially not placed close to the heart. Secondly, to make the memorial tablet effective, you still need to recite the spirit heart incantation to her once, chanting spells, voicing my demands in my mind. The best time for entering the spirit world is around midnight, because that time period has the strongest yin energy. The spirit immersion effect is also the best. Fang Fang curled her lips. So troublesome. How can I determine if the spirit possession was successful? I thought for a moment and said, Once successfully entering the spirit realm, the master often possesses some special intuition. You take it home and try it out first. As long as you follow my instructions, there won't be any problems. I originally planned to personally guide her in enchanting the dominoes, but Fang Fang has already booked the flight. I have to go back before dawn. I can only remind you repeatedly. I have reminded them several times about the precautions. There's one more thing. Once your weight drops, just contact us for recycling. Avoid long-term offerings. I consider that dominoes are also a type of playing card. These Southeast Asian amulets. It feels eerie from the inside out. After all, it's something that has entered the spirit. It's not a good thing for an ordinary person to carry something for a long time. Still thinking about going to find Fang Fang for recycling. Little did he know she immediately showed a displeased expression, talking about the things I bought with my own money. Why should I give it back to you? I'll go home and see how it works. if you can't meet my requirements. Definitely let Huang Yun take care of you. Speak on. Still, don't forget to give me a threatening glance. I am speechless. Turned to leave, but was called out by Fang Fang from behind. Wait a moment. You can't leave yet. You must help me carry the luggage to the airport. I looked at the large and small suitcases by her feet, unhappily asking why. Fang Fang pointed at herself and Huang Yun. Are you even a man? Such heavy luggage. Do we really have to carry it, the two of us girls? Moreover, I'm not refusing to give you money. Help me move my luggage once. I'll give you 500 lines, okay? There is still. Please don't lose my things. Otherwise, compensation will be made at full price. You, a broke loser, definitely can't afford it. I can't believe it. I was just about to curse. He glanced at the gaze thrown by Huang Yun. Reluctantly, I had to swallow it down. The county town does not have an airport. Huang Yun personally drove the car. Fang Fang was sent to the temporary location. Called me again to help carry the luggage. Fang Fang brought a huge pile of luggage, aside from clothing and daily cosmetics. Surprisingly, there are several durians stuffed in the bag. The taste was simply indescribable. I am also unfortunate. How did I end up with such a difficult person to deal with? After much effort, Fang Feng was finally sent onto the plane. I looked at Huang Yun with a bitter smile. This great aunt has finally returned home. Your home can be quieter too, Huang Yun said. I actually think Fang Fang is quite good. Besides being straightforward and outspoken, outside every door, behind the lips, other places are quite good. Anyway, I'm bored at home alone. I had a sudden realization. Unconsciously said, a person is bored at home. Can I accompany you? I regretted it as soon as the words left my mouth. Indeed, Huang Yun's cheeks turned red, urged me to take a breath, spit it out. You wish. There's no place for you in my room. I grabbed the back of my head, smiled foolishly. Say I can't enter your room. It's okay to make do on the sofa in the living room. Huang Yun ignored me. Pretend you didn't hear anything. But almost crashed the car. Ran a red light. The matter has finally come to an end. Back and forth a hassle. On the way back, it is already the late night. I got out of the car at Huang Yun's doorstep as evening approached. So I took a taxi back to Zhu Bapi's shop to sleep. The next morning around 6 o'clock. I'm not fully awake yet. The phone rang with an annoying ringtone. I impatiently opened my eyes. Caller ID displayed. It is still Huang Yun calling. I thought he missed me. Quickly wiped the eye crust. Sitting up with a smile, I answered the phone. It's only been a few hours since we parted. Just want to chat with me. Huang Yun spat on me. Stop talking nonsense. I'm calling you to discuss important matters. What serious matters am I talking about? Huang Yan immediately said, it is like this. Isn't Fang Fang back in Chongqing? She just returned home. Just follow the method you mentioned. Give spirit to the dominoes. At first, there was no reaction. I thought I mispronounced the spell. So I read it a few more times. Finally fell asleep at 3 in the morning after all the fuss. Little did she know after Fang Fang closed her eyes. I immediately felt my body become a bit cold. She shivered all over from the cold. I want to open my eyes. But no matter what, I can't get up. In the haze, Fang Fang felt. It seems there is an extra person by the bedside, whispering in my ear, muttering something quietly. What can be said is all foreign languages. She doesn't understand a word. In this way, Fang Fang was startled awake. The first thing I thought of was to call Huang Yun. Let her ask me what this is about. I said with a yawn, "It's okay. This is a normal reaction." She dreamed of the heroic spirits. The spirit entering ceremony has been successful. The spirit actively approached her to confirm the content of her wish. This is called a report. Huang Yun carefully. But I always feel that. That domino looks quite eerie. As soon as I saw that thing, just scared from the bottom of my heart. Will there really be no problem? Cha. I hesitated for a moment. To be honest, I don't have much confidence in myself either. One can think of Zhu Bapi's repeated assurances. He still gritted his teeth and gave her a definite answer. I walked too fast. Didn't notice someone at the door. Almost kicked Zhu Bapi's shoulder. He turned back and glared at me. "My shoelace is loose." "What's wrong with tying your shoelaces at your doorstep? You little rascal. Why did you wake up so early today?" "Still so happy." "Dreaming of marrying a wife." I chuckled and said, "It's about the same, considering that I have been hanging around Jubapi's place for 3 months. It's been a long time since I last visited home. So I took the opportunity to ask to go home for a visit. Jubapi didn't say much, just reminded me, 'You have a rather special fate. Don't get too close to your family. Waiting too long can lead to trouble. Just stay for a few days and come back. Big Brother will help you make a lot of money. Money, money, money. All you care about is money.'" I rolled my eyes disdainfully. "I just went home for a visit. It's not like I won't help him in the future. Why are you hitting my family?" In the afternoon, I bought a ticket back to Mahjong County. First, I went to the courtyard of Master Huang Si. It's empty inside, just like when I first left. The entrance is almost overgrown with grass, especially desolate. Calculating it out, this old man has been out for almost 4 months. Surprisingly, not even once did they come back. I don't really know what exactly happened. Unfortunately, he is out. Never bring a phone. I can't get in touch at all. Maybe I have no choice. I called my mom. Said they want to go home for dinner tonight. Mom hasn't called me in a long time. I heard that I'm going home. Immediately smiled and agreed. "All right. I asked you to buy a few pounds of ribs at the vegetable market. Stewed and waiting for you. You must have suffered a lot out there." I said, "Not yet. I've been doing pretty well lately." "How old are you now?" "There's no need for you to worry." Saying it like that. When I think of tonight, I can be with my parents again. I am quite looking forward to it. I was not yet 20 that year. A person has been wandering outside for a long time. I really miss the dishes my mom used to make. Filled with excitement, I almost ran home. It's been 10 days since I got home, and it still hasn't turned dark. I eagerly took out the key, thinking about what delicious dishes Mom will make for me. I was stunned when the door opened. The house feels empty. The stove is cold and desolate. There isn't a single person here. What are you doing? I even saved some room in my belly. Really unreliable. I keep mumbling. Called Mom. Ask her where she went. Mom's words felt like a bucket of cold water. Let me feel cold from head to toe. Your dad hurt his leg. Arrived at the hospital. I am very confused. How did I suddenly injure my leg? When I called in the afternoon, "Isn't it all right?" Mom sighed deeply. "That's right. You called this afternoon saying you wanted to come back. I told your dad about this. He is very happy. I said I would go downstairs to buy you something delicious. Who knew this would happen?" Someone threw a bag of trash in the stairwell. Dad let his guard down, stepping on a garbage bag. rolled down the stairs on the spot. The injury isn't particularly severe. It's just a muscle strain. Ankle joint dislocation. The doctor just took an X-ray for him. It will take a good 1 or 2 months of rest to fully recover. After listening, I was completely stunned. Thinking back to the moment before leaving, Ju Bappy told me that one sentence. I was just about to go home. I haven't met my parents yet. Dad is on his way downstairs to buy groceries. Almost broke a bone from the fall. Is it a coincidence or? I returned to the hospital, looking at Dad's thin, swollen ankles. Byron rubbed his leg in pain while comforting me, saying, "A trivial moment. My heart feels like it's sinking with a stone tied to it." My heart was in turmoil. Grandma's. Am I really a cursed lone star? My good mood vanished in an instant. I put the money I earned on the card, secretly slipped into Mom's handbag, found an excuse to sneak out of the hospital, secretly made up my mind. It's better not to come home if there's nothing else to do. I stayed at an internet cafe for a few days. I bought the ticket just last week. Returned to the near west. As soon as I entered, I saw Ju Bappy grinning at me in a strange way. "Aren't you supposed to go home and spend some time with your parents? You're back so soon. I don't want to reveal my most vulnerable side. Stop acting tough. It's really boring at home. My parents always nag me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I came back." He remained non-committal. A chuckle. Sometimes this person just don't understand how to cherish the good things in front of you. Your parents have been really good to you. Compared to that person with the surname Zhu, I don't know how many times stronger it has become. Hearing him suddenly mention Mr. Zhu, I just realized I haven't paid attention to Xiao Zhu's situation for a long time. Still pondering in my heart. Should we call and ask? Ju Bappy seemed to see through my thoughts, let out a strange laugh, and said, "No need. Even if you call someone with the surname Zhu now, he can't answer either." I feel that Ju Bappy's words carry deeper meaning. Hurry up and ask what it means. Something has happened. Ju Bappy initially refused to speak. I'm tired of being asked. Just threw away a newspaper. I opened the newspaper with confusion, looking at the bold headlines in the newspaper, completely dumbfounded. I really didn't expect this. Xiao Zhu was actually driven to the point of jumping off a building. I never expected that. Mr. Zhu will be sent to a mental hospital. Mr. Zhu has always pressured his son to study, causing Xiao Zhu to feel disoriented. Unexpectedly fainted in the examination room. Afterwards, he not only failed to understand his son's hardships. Instead, she blamed her son for not standing up for her. Signed up for 2 more tutoring classes in one go. Xiao Zhu really can't take it anymore. Take the opportunity while he is on the phone with the tutor. Suddenly opened the window, jumping down from the 5th floor. Fortunately, there's a flower bed downstairs. Xiao Zhu is not in any life-threatening danger. Just a broken leg, hospitalized. Mr. Zhu watched as his son jumped from the building. Also received a shock. Surprisingly, all of this is blamed on the chicken eye incense. He immediately angrily grabbed a support, rushing to compete with Zhu for custody of the son. This guy is just a paranoid. The mental state is very unstable. Swinging an axe, he chased after his ex-wife and her lawyer. After being subdued by the police, forcibly subjected him to a psychiatric evaluation. You should have guessed the result of the identification. He definitely won't be able to leave the mental hospital for at least 3 to 5 years. Ju Bappy's brief words. This reveals the ending of the father-son duo. I was completely stunned. Suddenly shivered. Hold his arm and say, Little Zoo doesn't have much of a problem, although I broke my leg. But fortunately, we are young. A year and a half of rest will be enough to recover. Mr. Zhu is being forcibly taken to a mental hospital. His ex-wife also naturally gained custody of Xiao Zhu, although the cost is quite high. At least I entrusted this controlling father. I believe that in the future, growth will become a bit easier. Ju Bapi was saying these words. A faint smile on the face. It seems to describe a completely unrelated outsider. I broke out in a cold sweat. Gang Jang is sitting in the chair. Fell into fear and self-reproach. This is simply a tragedy, and it was caused by me alone. What's up? Juba Pai knows my personality very well. Walk over with a smile. Yeah, it's just too much psychological burden. The story of the Zhu family and their son. Clearly, they are the ones causing the trouble themselves. I keep pushing my son to study hard. Yet the son is a rebellious one. No matter what, I won't accept Dad's discipline. This family tragedy caused by conflict. It's quite common. I pushed his hand away. Actually, this tragedy could have been avoided. In the end, it's just that the father and son are both too stubborn. There is no communication in life at all. If we hadn't sold the chicken with fragrant spices to Mr. Zhu, this tragedy might not have happened. In the end, I still bear part of the responsibility. Ju Bapi was speechless. Patting the thigh said, "Why can't you get out of your stubborn ways now? I have explained it to you several times already. We are in the middle of a deal. Do not involve clients in the cause and effect. What does he need? We provide whatever is needed. Not getting involved. Non-interference. As for the outcome, that is their own karma. It's none of our business." Even though he said that, I still feel a bit guilty in my heart. I feel like this is somehow all connected to me. I felt down for 2 days. By the third day, I just caught my breath. Once again, I found Ju Bapi. Lao Zhu, these past 2 days, I have been pondering something. Mr. Zhu, though somewhat stubborn in personality, but this only indicates that he has a flawed character. How did it suddenly turn into a mental illness? Ju Bapi smiled slyly. This is certainly because he destroyed the mechanic boy's incense. This is the consequence I deserve. I told him a long time ago. One must not offend the incense that has been infused with spirit, even if questioning the ability of the machine child. He could completely stop the offerings, or take the Jai Tong Fa Zhang outside, instead of in a fit of rage, holding an axe to destroy the incense. You don't even think about it. Since the machine boy went to his home, he devoted all his energy to help his son review his lessons. Good intentions didn't bring good results. Not only did I not receive sincere offerings, instead a hatchet arrived. If it were you, how would you address someone with the surname Zhu? I took a deep breath and said, "That being said, Mr. Zhu will become mentally ill. Actually, it's a mechanical child. This is none of your business. The machine child is a yin spirit. Those who offend him will not have it easy. Am I going crazy, or is it just light?" Next, Jai Tong will definitely continue to cling to Mr. Zhu. Don't squander his blessings. Will not take a break. Ju Bapi ruthlessly interrupted me. The unique conversation of the heart. Little brother, the longer you do this job, the more you'll understand. You'll get used to it. There's no need for an ending for every customer. Everyone is so concerned. I was shocked to death. Sneered. Isn't selling parrots equivalent to harming others? Ju Bapi was not happy. Let me speak properly. Who says selling parrots must be harmful? The parrot is well trained. Many people sail smoothly through life. It's still the same thing. One should not be too greedy. Can you demand more from yourself? Things that should never have existed. Greed harms oneself as it has since ancient times. After Mr. Zhu invited the pilot back to Jitonfa village, Zhu's wish is not for his son to study hard, but to bless the family with prosperity, wishing my son peace and happiness. The outcome will be completely different. There is one more thing. I want to clarify things with you. Most of the parrots have become spiritual, a self-awareness that doesn't exist at all, especially that kind of parrot possessed by a child. In life, I was already muddled and confused, pure as a blank sheet of paper. As for why I later sought revenge on the client, it is entirely because of when the client was worshipping him. Many wishes were made mixed with negative emotions. This led to pollution affecting the parrot. The man and the parrot. It is a relationship of mutual achievement. The client made a wish by relying on the parrot to break free from one's own predicament. The spirit of the parrot. You can also accumulate merit in this way. Meeting a good person, the parrot will get better. Instead, if we encounter a person with strong negative energy, even the purest parrot can become infected. Zhu Po Tian. Xin Zhu has this kind of situation. He is simply too capable. I hope you can understand this point. After his persuasion, I felt a little more at ease in my heart, no longer fixated on the Zhu family's matters. Another half a month passed. I suddenly remembered Fei knew Fang Fang. Since that domino fell, there has been no further news. So much time has passed. It shouldn't be completely silent. I don't have Fang Fang's contact information. He decisively called Huang Yun. Huang Yun just received a phone call. Lin Mo said. I teased. This must be a coincidence. It seems we truly have a special connection. He spat on me. The tone is a bit tsundere. Don't come over here. I found that a man's words are indeed unreliable. You are getting more and more slick with your words. Is there? I scratched the back of my head. Perhaps it's that those who enter the pigsty are covered in red, while those who enter the dark are shrouded in black. It's been a long time since I've mixed it up with Zhu Bapi. I have also unknowingly learned to be slick with my words. Huang Yun scolded me thoroughly. Then we can talk about the main issue. Why are you calling yourself? I said it's nothing. Fang Fang has been gone for such a long time. There has been no news. I'm just a bit worried. Since experiencing the incident with the Zhu family father and son, I have developed a wariness towards parrots, especially what Fang Fang took away. It's still the special talisman made by the Malay master. This thing may not be much more powerful than the chicken tong fa. Huang Yan immediately laughed. At least you have some sense of responsibility. Don't worry. Fang Fang is doing well now. He even made a special phone call. Please treat me to a meal. Expressing gratitude. I have come with interest. Quickly ask Fang Fang about her current living situation. Huang Yun felt that talking on the phone was too troublesome. Meet me at the walking street in Chengqing for a stroll. We can talk face to face. I went there excitedly. Huang Yun arrived before me, waving at me from a distance in the crowd, with a sweet smile, with long hair flowing like clouds, the unique scent of the neighbor girl. I ran up excitedly. Ask Huang Yun if he has eaten. He shook his head and said no. He pointed to the Japanese sushi restaurant at the street corner. Where do you want to eat? Actually, I don't really like eating Japanese cuisine, especially sashimi. It feels quite unappetizing. It's always so awkward. But Huang Yun just can't help but like it. I had no choice but to go with him. Entered the sushi restaurant. Yun only ordered a few small dishes. I laughed and said you don't need to help me save money. I'm earning quite a bit now. A meal is still affordable. I haven't exercised much these days. I've gained several pounds. I laughed out loud. How could that be? This body of yours is the best right now. Neither too fat nor too thin. What I can't accept the most. It's the kind of skeletal beauty that's popular online today. I feel a connection with the girl. It's better to have a bit of meat. This way can also be healthier. Yun, however, did not accept my viewpoint. Shaking his head, he said it wouldn't work. I need to control myself a little, so that Fang Fang won't turn around and mock me. I find it really funny. That chubby girl has no right to laugh at you. Her waist is thicker than a water bucket. Yun immediately interrupted me, saying, "You can't say that about my best friend. Moreover, Fang Fang's weight loss is very effective. I've long since gotten rid of my bucket waist. I don't really believe it. It has been less than a month since the last breakup. Even if she tries her hardest to lose weight, it's impossible to reduce to a figure like Yun's." Little did they know, Yun said with a serious expression. "Really, I didn't lie to you. If you don't believe me, let me show you a recent photo of Fang Fang." Soon she took out her phone. I waved a few times towards the alley. "Show me the phone screen." I focused my gaze. Suddenly froze. The photo features a delicate-looking girl, a girl with a roll of long yellow hair. The hair is styled into wavy curls, wearing that kind of mature professional short skirt. At first glance, it seems quite imposing. I secretly wiped my saliva. The killing arm showed faint signs of a flare-up, but the face looks very serious. Did you take the wrong photo with Yun? This is not Fang Fang at all. Yun was serious. Why isn't it Fang Fang anymore? She looked like this before she got fat. It's just that you haven't seen it before. Rely. No way. I had a clever idea. Directly snatched Yun's phone. Looked at it seriously a few times. Indeed, the woman in the photo is stunningly beautiful. And the Fang Fang I once met. It's like he's a different person. Upon closer inspection, there is still a significant similarity between the brows and eyes, especially those eyes with a hint of teasing and sharpness. It's just one person. I was shocked. Repeated confirmation. The woman in the photo is really Fang Fang. Yun smiled dreamily, deliberately putting on a stern face. What's wrong? I didn't expect the chubby guy to become a potential star. Look at you like that. I could almost lose my eyes from frustration. Is it that seeing Fang Fang looking beautiful has made you feel moved? I had no desire to joke with her. With a serious expression, he handed the phone back to her. Don't you think something feels off? Yun had a naive and sweet expression. What could possibly be wrong? Fang Fang's figure is quite good now. I wiped the sweat away. You are so silly. I have a question for you. How long has it been since Fang Fang returned home? She thought seriously for a moment. Then he said, 23 days. Not right. It should be 24 days now. I said yes. Only 24 days. A month will be just right. Have you ever seen someone who can do it in a month? Lose 40 to 50 pounds of excess fat. How did you get your body in such great shape? After my guidance. Yun Kai finally realized something was wrong. Losing weight isn't about cutting flesh. Losing dozens of pounds of fat is not something that can be done easily. This is not normal. Yun said uneasily. Well, Fang Fang secretly went to the hospital for surgery after her previous failed attempts at losing weight. Once said, I need to find a hospital for liposuction, but I'm afraid it might affect her health. Just advised her to give up. I said seriously. It's still unclear now. Quickly contact Fang Fang. Ask her about her weight. How did it fall down? Good. She didn't dare to delay. I immediately called Fang Fang. The phone rang for quite a while. No one is answering. Huang Yun refused to give up. I continued to make a few more calls. That side still showed no response. We are all feeling restless now. Huang Yan immediately stood up and said, Strange. 2 days ago, Fang Fang was still video calling me, showing off her current figure. We usually keep in close contact. Why did you suddenly stop answering my calls? I said, during our last call, did you ever ask Fang Fang how she lost weight? Yuan said of course she had asked, but Fang Fang refused to reveal. Say, it is achieved through simple control of appetite. I absolutely cannot. No matter how she controls her appetite. You have to eat right. After thinking it over, I'm still not at ease. He said while tapping on the table. Do you know where Fang Fang's family lies? Let's go find her and ask her directly. Huang Yun did not refuse. Agree to it right away. Jingxi is several hundred kilometers away from Chongqing. Driving takes a long time. It's getting dark quickly. I worry that Huang Yunkai driving at night might be unsafe. I bought 2 train tickets online. We only boarded the train at 8 o'clock in the evening. After several hours of driving, finally arrived at Chongqing North Station. At that time, Chongqing North Station was still very desolate, except for the platform. It is a desolate highway. The bus is completely packed. Yuan Yan and I waited and waited for over half an hour. Just got in line for a taxi. The roads in Chongqing are quite magical, although they are all located in the southwest. But the traffic routes in this hilly city, it's really too complicated. Even the local drivers can't figure it out. Taking us winding through the mountain road. Driving has become a form of juggling. When getting off the car, Huang Yun is about to be sick. Took several sips of mineral water. Just managed to come in, with a bewildered expression, looking at the winding mountain road beneath my feet. It's hard to imagine. How did these people build the mountain road? Ziyu arrived in the bustling city center. That's right. What floor are we on, anyway? I looked at the newly lit up street. Let's say it's the first floor. Huang Yan said, no way. Just climbed several flights. How could it still be on the first floor? I don't care about this. Shaking his head, he said, what does it matter how many floors? It's urgent to find Fang Fang as soon as possible. Huang Yan said helplessly. I can't figure out which floor this is. How do I find it? Last time, Fang Fang said she lives on the 6th floor, but the building number clearly says 12. I really can't understand how the buildings in the mountain city are constructed. Huang Yan and I had no choice but to ask the nearby aunt for directions. Wandered for a long time. Finally arrived at the so-called 6th floor. From the place just off the train. Completely on the 6th floor. Fortunately, hard work pays off for those who are dedicated. We finally went to Fang Fang's floor. Huang Yun quickly pressed the doorbell, knocked on the door for a long time. There is still no sound inside. He was so anxious that sweat broke out on his face. I told Huang Yun not to rush. Maybe Fang Fang sleeps well. Didn't hear it. At this moment, the neighbor opened their door. Why did I and Huang Yun bump into the door so early in the morning? It's so noisy that I can't even sleep. I quickly pointed at Fang Fang's house door. Say, brother, this family, you see. Then the older brother yawned, looking at me with strange eyes. How to say it? Do you know the monster living inside? When he said, freak, when there are two characters. Suddenly, a light flickered in my heart. Huang however, was not happy. Said to the owner of the neighboring house, "How do you insult someone?" The older brother shook his still sleepy forehead. "Someone who can lose 50 pounds of fat in a month. What is not a freak?" I was momentarily shocked. Even the neighbors of Lion Fengfeng know about his weight loss journey. It seems that photo is not a joke. So I quickly asked, "Then, big brother, do you know where he went?" "I don't know. This chubby girl is sick, always making a fuss at home every few days. Still occasionally gets up in the middle of the night. A person is shouting and calling out into the air. I have tried several times to contact the property management, but it was useless. He has never admitted it." The neighbor brother looked at me and said, "Since you're friends with this chubby girl, just help me persuade her. Don't scream like a ghost in the middle of the night again. We still have children at home." Then there was a loud bang. The man closed the door again, annoyed. I helplessly looked at Huang. "Let's go. Let's look for another place." It seems Fengfeng used a rather special method to lose weight. This has caused such dissatisfaction among the neighbors. Huang and I quickly went downstairs. This neighborhood has several large gates at the front and back. Took a big detour. We didn't notice Fang Fang's presence. It makes me cry a lot. I really have no way out. Simply found a place to sit down. Can't say it anymore. Wait right here. As long as Fang Fang still lives in this community, it will definitely pass through this route. Huang unusually did not reply to me. She fixed her gaze directly on the community entrance. Hasn't said a word. I was taken aback. The gaze followed the direction pointed out by Huang. I saw a taxi parked at the entrance of the neighborhood. The car door slowly opens. A slender figure walked down from above, a girl like a flash of lightning, exactly the same as in the photo. Fan Fan. Now I'm even more shocked. She is even thinner in person than in the photos. A thin figure appeared. It looked like it would topple over at the slightest breeze. We hurried towards her. At this moment, Fang Fang just got out of the taxi. It seems a bit difficult. Holding a plastic bag in hand. I don't know what is inside. It looks a bit heavy. Fang Fang stops to catch her breath after every 2 steps. I was taken aback. Huang let out a sharp scream. Rush up quickly, holding on to Fang Fang. Her arms have become almost as thin as bamboo poles. Shocked to the core. The "How did you become like this?" You can't blame her for being shocked. I was also taken aback by Fang Fang's appearance at that moment. Startled. She is not tall. She seemed to be only 1 meter 56 tall. I used to be all covered in flesh. It looks like a big meatball has been squeezed. But now it has become a flash of lightning. Arm and calf almost became a clothes rack. Sunken cheeks. It felt as if only skin and bones remained. The eye sockets are deeply sunken. The complexion was dull and haggard. Hardly any color of blood is visible. Next, Fang Fang's reaction seems to have become very dull, until Huang approached. Only then did we realize it was us, with a face full of surprise. "Huang, why are you so silent?" He ran over to my house. "There is also Wagan. Why did this guy follow me too?" Huang looked extremely worried. "Ading Feng Feng," he said, "we are all very worried about you." "What's there to worry about? I'm doing quite well now." Fang Fang doesn't seem to feel that there's any problem. Instead, they laughed very naturally. Huang looked at the plastic bag in her hand. It was filled with large and small bags of items. "Hurry up and speak. You went out shopping early in the morning." "I haven't shopped. I just bought some simple nutritional supplements." Fang Fang shook her head. "Open the plastic bag." I discovered it was surprisingly filled with all sorts of prescription pill boxes. Shocked to the core. "You, why take so many pills?" Fang Fang glanced at me. "After losing weight, I feel weaker. I haven't been feeling very energetic lately. Always going to the hospital for Roman 4 drips. The doctor said he is malnourished. That's why I started taking these medications." "How could someone be malnourished?" "You used to be more." "How strong?" I increasingly find it unbelievable. Fang Fang, though beautiful, shot me an angry glance. Absolutely no explanation. Holding Huang Yan's arm, he said, "It's rare for you to come here. I'll treat you to a meal." "I know. There's a lionfin shop nearby. The taste is especially good." After saying that, he forcefully dragged Huang Yan away. That pile of medicine, it naturally ended up in my hands. I am speechless. I feel like his body has changed. But the temper hasn't changed at all. Still calling me around and bossing me. It seems like using someone is scary. At this moment, I don't have time to worry about these things. Gritting one's teeth, they followed them to the jelly shop. This lionfin shop has a good location. Business is also very good. From a distance, I smelled a very fragrant spice aroma. Yuan Yan spoke as he walked. "It smells so good." "Of course. Not tasty." "How could I bring you here?" Fan Fang took a look. "This is a regular customer here. Find a seat by the window and sit down." Ordered a few bowls of cold jelly. Don't mention the local snacks of Chongqing. The taste is indeed good. Me and Huiyan, savoring the aroma coming from the bowl, can't help but be tempted. Qi Fengfeng just propped her chin up with her hand, gazing quietly at the cold jelly placed before me. Not a single bite. Huiyan questioned, "Fang Fang, why aren't you eating? Is it unappetizing?" "You all eat." "I'll just take a look." He didn't even lift his head. The gaze was fixed intently on that bowl of cold jelly. Ming swallowed hard, craving. Yet they still had no intention of picking up their chopsticks. Huang was speechless. "Say please. There should be limits to weight loss." "Not eat enough." "Where is the strength to reduce?" "Say it again." "You've lost so much weight. There's no need to diet at all." He spoke while stuffing the chopsticks into Fang Fang's hand, but was directly pushed away by Fang Fang. "I can't eat any more." "Don't push me any more." Huan Yun and I were both taken aback. Exchanging glances, they spoke. "No way. Your appetite used to be so big. Why can't even a bowl of snacks fit any more?" Speaking of this, Fang Fang seemed a bit agitated, shaking his head. "Don't ask any more. Finished eating. Let's go shopping somewhere else." Huang Yun put down his chopsticks. "I already feel something is off." Testing the path. "Fan Fan, how much do you eat in a day now?" Fang Fang looked at him. "Shake head. Besides drinking water, I have already stopped eating." Yuan Yun opened her mouth, a face full of shock and confusion. "Not eating anything. What do you rely on to survive?" "Take your medicine." Fang Fang pointed at the various medications in the plastic bag. "This is vitamin. This is for supplementing protein. This too. This can help me obtain the necessary nutrients." I was dumbfounded, completely shocked. No wonder he can lose weight so quickly. Emotions returned home. Not a single grain of rice is eaten, relying entirely on swallowing these nutritional supplements. Maintain basic consumption. I looked at Fang Feng's arm again. The surface is covered in pinholes. There are still many bruises left from the needles. No need to say. The reason he wasn't home early in the morning, she ran to the hospital for enrollment 4. After all, a normal person can't rely solely on medication to sustain life. You need to consume some glucose and salt. I was incredulous. Huang Yun also looked worried. Relying on medication and intravenous therapy. How could one possibly meet the needs of life? You need to eat some carbohydrates and fats. I can't get any thinner. Fang Fang still shook her head. It's okay. We've held on for so long. Haven't I been doing well all along? Is this considered good for you? Huang Yan looked very unsettled. Continue to shake your head and persuade. Look at how thin you've become. I advised you to lose weight before. It is feared that obesity can lead to many complications. But your current state is worse than not losing weight at all. No way. You should eat something too. Otherwise, I will get angry. It's clear that Huang Yun truly cares for Fang Fang. I can't help but want to pry her mouth open. Pour in the food. Her. Forced. Spared. Fang Fang could only manage with difficulty. Swallow the food. Then it happened. A scene that surprised me even more. Fang Fang was forced to eat a lot of breakfast, but there was not a trace on his face. The satisfaction and enjoyment of chewing food. Instead, it revealed an expression of extreme pain, both hands tightly gripping the neck, a look of breathlessness. The face also feels painful from holding back. Huang Yun was a bit confused. Stopped eating for her. Looked at me helplessly. I hurriedly said, "Perhaps Fang Fang has been fasting for too long. My stomach can no longer adapt to these foods. Don't feed her anymore. This requires an adjustment period." As soon as I finished speaking, Fang Fang suddenly stood up from the stool, without further ado, rushing to the street with a hand over my mouth. "Fan Fan!" Huang Yun was frightened. "Hurry and take me to chase." Look at Fang Fang's stance. Should be preparing to run to the roadside trash bin. Severe discomfort in the stomach. She couldn't keep running far. After just 2 steps, I painfully fell down, vomiting wildly with both hands on the ground. "Spit out what you just ate." Everything was thrown up. Huang Yun quickly grabbed a tissue to help her. So scared I was about to cry. "I'm sorry, Fang Fang. I didn't mean to. I am just—" "It's okay. I'm not blaming you again. I know you mean well for me, but I really can't eat anything anymore." Fang Fang is quite understanding of Huang Yun. She shook her head, just about to get up, but because of the separation, it fell back down. Huang Yun quickly helped her up from the side. I and hugged Fang Fang while shedding tears. "You look so thin. I can almost lift you up with one hand. What happened? Why is this happening?" Fang Fang still shook her head, looked at the yellow clouds. Only then did he lower his head and reveal the truth. "After returning from you last time, I haven't tasted a single bite of food. I don't know why either. I used to like so many foods. No matter how much I eat, I can never feel full. But now, just take a small bite. Will vomit uncontrollably. Besides plain water, as long as it has any kind of flavor. I can't accept this." Huang Yan nervously wiped her tears. How could such a thing happen? Could it be anorexia? Fang Fang stared at her blankly. Shaking their head, they said, "It's not anorexia. My craving for food has not diminished. What you originally liked to eat. What do you still like now? The only difference is I used to eat anything without issue. Now I can no longer eat. I don't know how to describe it. Just like, it's like a hand is choking my esophagus." The things I eat. It can't hold any flavor at all. Everyone will throw it up immediately. Fang Fang started talking and ended up crying herself. He said painfully while covering his face, "I've tried every possible way, but still can't eat it. You know I watch those favorite snacks every day. But the pain that cannot be tasted at all. I can only go to my favorite snack shop every day, order a dish, then look at it." After listening to her tearfully recount the story, Yuen Yan was already so scared that she stood up. "Then why didn't you tell me earlier?" Fang Fang Mu Na Dao. "However, this is really effective for weight loss. Look how little time has passed. I just became an ordinary person and lost some weight. Every time I look in the mirror, it feels very rewarding." She said this while showing a twisted, confused grin. Her expression was particularly chaotic, even in pain, accompanied by the satisfaction of successfully shedding the excess fat. "This expression makes me feel a chill from the outside." Asterisk clears throat and says asterisk, "Your method of losing weight is wrong. Even if you become thinner, what good is it to lose your health? At this moment, I also understand the reason Fang Feng has become like this. It was mostly because of that domino. It seems this girl is trying to lose weight. I've already made myself completely disoriented. When you imbue the dominoes with spirit again, what wish was made? Can you tell me?" Fang Fang's gaze was dazed. "Look at me and speak. I didn't make any wishes. That day she got home at 3 in the morning. I feel very tired. Just hoping the spirit entrance ceremony will end soon. Get some sleep as soon as possible." So Fang Feng used a very careless manner, giving life to the dominoes, placed the dominoes directly on the bedside table, while reciting the spiritual sutra. Bayan silently recited, "I beg you, I want to lose weight quickly, become a true backbone beauty, no longer need to worry about obesity caused by food." Then she quickly fell asleep. There was indeed a reaction in the dream. It has appeared, signs of ear explosion, and she woke up the next day. At the beginning, Fang Fang didn't take it too seriously yet, thought it was expired yogurt. By noon, she ordered herself a large pizza again, still just took a bite. "There was a strong burning sensation in my stomach. It seems like what I ate wasn't pizza at all, but rather a branding iron." Fang Fang was tormented and felt very uncomfortable, until the food just eaten is thrown up. "Now I feel my stomach is calm. People have also become much more relaxed." She suspects there's something wrong with the pizza shop's food. They even specifically went to that shop to cause a scene. The shop owner tried to ease the tension, quickly offer double compensation. At this time, Fang Fang did not realize the severity of the problem at all, until the next meal. She still takes a bite, spit it out. Now it's starting to get a bit anxious. Seeing her talk about these experiences, I listened in astonishment. My lips keep twitching. I feel like saying, "Since that's the case, why didn't you contact me sooner?" Fang Fang shook her head. "I was indeed quite worried at first, until she finished weighing herself, realizing one's weight the next day. Remarkably lost 5 to 6 pounds. And I don't know why. I've clearly been hungry all day. My stomach doesn't feel that uncomfortable. It feels like this might be quite good too. So it goes. You are confused." "I'm about to explode from anger," said with a dark face. "Such an abnormal thing happened to oneself. You actually accepted it with a clear conscience. I really don't know how to talk to you." Fang Fang has a certain attitude towards Huang Yan. "Don't pick on me with your judgmental gaze. Immediately retorted unhappily, I'm also trying to lose weight. Let's talk about the way to enter the spirit. It was all taught by you. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Hehe. I'm so mad I'm laughing. First, you make a wish facing the dominoes. There is a problem. What does it mean to quickly express the essence of beauty? What does it mean to never have to worry about food again? Worries about obesity. I continued to question Fang Fang. How were the bones offered afterward? Fang Fang, despite feeling unwell, yet still looked at me with an angry expression. Of course, it was hung up. I asked again, where did you hang it? At the beginning. I planned to hang it on the wall, but there are no nails at home. I just shoved it straight into the wardrobe. Fang Fing didn't realize at all. Your own way of devotion. What is inappropriate? Casual response. Let my tongue go. Shivering again. This foolish woman. I pointed at her and shouted, how can you put the dominoes in the wardrobe? The wardrobe is a place for storing clothes. Women's lingerie and stockings. The same impure dance. You let the dominoes face these underwear all day. It was also locked in a confined space. Isn't this asking for trouble? I am really furious. I had already mentioned so many precautions to her. Fang Fing didn't take any of it in. Seeing me so angry, Fang Fang is also living there. Huang Yun quickly tugged at my sleeve. Wan then, Fang Fang is in such a dire situation. Please don't be harsh on her, okay? I said coldly. She is still relatively mild. Fang Fang made a wrong wish herself. They also placed the dominoes in impure places. It's likely that we've already angered the spirit within. I really am. I've never seen such a foolish woman. The more I talk, the more worked up I get. Furious, her face turned ashen. I don't even know how to describe it. Huang Yun urged me to think of a solution quickly. But this domino isn't made by me. For a while, I can't think of any good solutions either. They can only wait in place for these two girls. She turned away to call Zhu Bapi. After the call was connected, I quickly shared what happened to Fang Fang. Zhu Bapi was stunned for a second after listening. Then they laughed heartily without a care in the world. Why do you always encounter such oddballs? I am also impressed. I wasn't angry at all, still making sarcastic remarks. Now Fang Fang's way of offering has encountered a problem. I'm afraid we've already angered the spirits. How should it be resolved? Zhu Bapi was very impatient, complaining that I always get myself into trouble. Immediately said, this kind of situation is quite complicated to resolve. I advise you not to get involved. I'm anxious. How can I not care? She is Huang Yun's good friend. Something really happened. How am I supposed to get along with Huang Yun from now on? Oh dear, we are all adults now. You must take responsibility for your actions. She supplied the wrong dominoes herself. None of your business. Zhu Bapi clearly did not want to deal with these matters. I absolutely do not agree. Talking about old Zhu, let's do things with a clear conscience, Jiang. You also got a share last time. We can't avoid it just because it's troublesome. This is all the work of the heroic spirits in the dominoes. Find a way to catch it. Isn't it fine then? I have caught ghosts before. If it really doesn't work, I might as well just smash it with a hammer. Zhu Bapi quickly said, younger brother, you must not act recklessly. The card spirit is different from ordinary heroic spirits. This is the English thing of recognizing the Lord. The mantra I gave you for entering the spirit realm. It is essentially a kind of spiritual contract. At the moment Fang Fang recited the incantation for the dominoes. It's like tying yourself to the heroic spirits in the dominoes. After all, This is the story between Fang Fang and the heroic spirit. Foreigners forcefully intervene. Will lead the UK to itself. Say it again. This is a foreign ghost. Different beliefs. You can't possibly help them move on. It might make the situation worse. I don't understand. Speak foreign languages. Why can't I perform a ritual to help the spirits? Ju Bapi spoke earnestly. The dominoes were handmade by a mage from Malaysia. While making dominoes, the black magic incantation has already been used for empowerment. Do you know about the practice of Jiangtu? Do you know how to break the Southeast Asia black law? Implied meaning. Even if I forcibly destroy the dominoes, it's of no use either. Instead, it will only further anger the heroic spirits, inviting increasingly severe retaliation. I was instantly at a loss. It's only to blame myself for being in the industry for too short a time. Didn't learn many real skills. I don't know how to deal with a foreign ghost. Seeing my persistence, Ju Bapi had no choice but to say, "It's unfortunate to have you involved. Let me handle this for you. You must do two urgent things. One is to take Fang Fang to the hospital. Give her a comprehensive physical examination. Pay close attention to her stomach. Check if there are any changes. Next, you must bring back the dominoes as soon as possible. I will send it back to Malaysia. Find the mage who originally created the dominoes. Lift the dark spell above. This process is quite troublesome. An additional service fee will be charged. But in order to quickly resolve Fang Fang's troubles, I can only grit my teeth and ask her how much she wants." Ju Bapi, the lion, opens his mouth wide. "Say 30,000. At that moment I jumped in anger. "Lao Ju, can you please have some boundaries? I have already spent 30,000 on dominoes. Now it's another 30,000. If it's so easy to make money, why don't you just rob it?" Ju Bapi boldly declared. "I don't want to deal with this mess at all. Still, for the sake of you and Huang Yun, I just came up with an idea for you. You need to know. This domino was handcrafted by the Malay sorcerer. The black magic spell above is quite powerful. Someone who knows how to handle dominoes. Only he himself. There are no benefits. Why should anyone help you resolve this? Do you think everyone is as kind-hearted as I am? Bought it. Such shamelessness is unmatched. I gritted my teeth and said, 30,000 is too expensive. Insist on getting a better price." Ju Bapi, carefree and light-hearted, said, "This is already the lowest price. If it's too expensive, you can try to decompress it yourself. I didn't force you. I—" Just as I was about to curse his entire family of women, Yuan Yan hurried over and tugged at my sleeve. 30,000 is 30,000. I can give it on behalf of Fang Fang. Quickly take the person to the hospital for a check-up. I'm really afraid something will go wrong if I'm late. All right. Huang Yun has spoken. I can only accept. Cursing and hanging up the call. Quickly run to the roadside and hail a taxi. Half an hour later, went to the hospital. I informed the doctor of the general situation. Request the doctor to examine Fang Fang's stomach. The doctor was also surprised. He said, while adjusting his glasses that were thicker than a beer bottle, "That's impossible. I haven't eaten anything for a month. How could others possibly survive?" Finally persuaded Fang Fang to go for an examination. I sat alone at the entrance of the hospital, smoking, thinking about what has happened during this time. I haven't felt happy inside for a long time. Are you saying that my buddy is really unlucky? Well-meaning help always ends up causing trouble. I doubt whether I'm really suited for this line of work. Wait until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The inspection report has come out. Wait for me to look over the report. The whole person was startled. Fang Fang's stomach has severely atrophied, reduced to the size of a baby's fist. There was an extremely rare adhesion phenomenon in the esophagus. No wonder he can't eat anything. After reading the contents of the report, I am feeling completely unwell. 1 month ago, Fang Fang is still a big person weighing over 200 pounds. One meal can sustain me for 3. Usually, such people have a stomach much larger than ordinary people. The hospital examination report, but it shows his stomach and spleen, shrunken like a baby, based on his current gastrointestinal tolerance. Besides plain water, can't really handle any food. I can be a bit fierce. Yueng Yun was also frightened, said with red-rimmed eyes. The doctor's advice is to hurry and have the surgery. First, clear the adhesion in the esophagus. Then find a way to help him return to a normal diet. I pondered for a while. I feel that the doctor's method is not reliable. Fang Feng's stomach issue is not a natural contraction, but rather caused by randomly making wishes on the dominoes. This is a supernatural power. It's definitely not something that can be solved by surgery at a hospital. The only way is to do as Shubapi said. Quickly bring the dominoes back. Leave it to that Malaysian master to resolve it personally. Cut off the spiritual contract between Kai Duanfang and the domino. Thinking of this, I rushed to the hospital room to find Fang Fang, tell him to hand over the dominoes. I thought he would agree readily. However, Fang Fang looked resistant, shaking his head continuously, refusing to bring out the dominoes no matter what. Not possible. I can't give it back to you. Why, I have some dreams. He should be aware of his own situation, not handing over the dominoes. Isn't that asking for trouble? Fang Fang said. Actually, I guessed it a long time ago. I have become like this. It's all because of that domino. I have also tried to throw away the dominoes, no longer supporting him. However, Fang Fang seemed to have some unspoken difficulties. Just as the words were halfway out, they closed their mouth. At the same time, there was a look of terror and lingering fear on his face. Huang Yun quickly grabbed his hand. Say, Fang Fang, don't have any worries. Speak quickly if you have something in mind. I will definitely help you with Wangan. You don't understand. You can't help me at all. He seemed a bit emotionally broken. Hugging Huang Yun, he began to cry out. I faced Huang Yun. Ultimately, after a long period of persuasion from Huang Yun, Fang Fang finally revealed the reason. He just needs to throw away a domino. You will feel especially weak. At the same time, the suppressed appetite will quickly return, even became hungrier than before. I wish I could eat a whole cow. What's even scarier is, these ingested items will be quickly absorbed by the body. While eating, I started to gain weight. I tried to throw it away once, then immediately became very hungry. I ate a whole 7 to 8 pounds of jerky. Still don't feel full. The next day, upon waking up, weight can rebound immediately. It will return to its original state in just a few days. Fang Fang said up to this point, I'm about to break down, helplessly clutching Huang Yun, sobbing. I said helplessly. Actually, the reasoning is quite simple. Fang Fang can suppress her appetite. It's not relying on one's own willpower. It is the result of forced constraints from the domino effect. Once detached from the dominoes, her appetite will immediately return. The drawbacks of long-term eating also became apparent. Can you imagine someone who has been hungry for a month? How crazy will it be once the appetite returns? The first thing Fang Fang would do is definitely to eat heartily. Let's not talk about whether the stomach can handle it. Those cells in the body that are starving to the extreme. It can also drive one mad to absorb the nutrients from food. ultimately led to her weight gain. It even rebounded more fiercely than before. Fang Fang said in panic. Wang En is absolutely right. I finally managed to lose weight. Absolutely do not turn back into that ghostly appearance. And I will get even fatter after leaving the dominoes. I don't want it this way. No. Her emotions became more and more intense, full of anger, a visible clash of opinions among the five senses. Suddenly he pushed Huang Yan aside, directly removed the Roman four-line from the arm, jumped off the sict immediately. Huang Yan almost lost his balance and fell. Repouncing towards Fang Fang, he said, "Don't get excited. I know this is very painful. You can continue to keep the dominoes. Your body will also break down, and it will collapse even worse than after regaining the weight. So what? I'd rather die than go back to the way things were. I don't want to be called a big-eared pig anymore. Do you understand?" Fang Feng's voice suddenly became extremely sharp, emotionally extremely irritable, completely ignored Huang Yan's kind intentions. He pushed her and walked towards the outside of the hospital. The needle that was forcibly removed is still dripping blood. Huang Yan hurriedly caught up and said, "Fan Fang, don't go. Is there something we can discuss properly? There must be a way. Discussing a ghost. Don't touch me, you old hag. You fell flat." Fang Fang pushed open the yellow clouds again. At the moment of retreat, there are already several streaks of bruises appearing on the face. The face is filled with intense conflict. Are you afraid I'll keep this figure forever? More beautiful than you. More beautiful than you. You are jealous of me. So intentionally bringing Wang and ruined my plans. Fang Fang, why would you think that? Huang Yan was stunned, staring at her in disbelief. Tears kept swirling in the reddened eye sockets. We are the best of friends. All these years I've always thought of you. Stop talking nonsense. I still don't know you. Fang Fang's expression was vicious. Speak in a very sarcastic tone. The reason you became friends with me, just to use me for comparison. Finding confidence in being beautiful within myself, right? Every time I go shopping with you, men all look at you, not at me. This will give you pleasure. Is your vanity particularly satisfied? You, Huang Yan was scolded to tears. Shake your head vigorously. It's not like that. You misunderstood me. Really not. You never regarded me as a close friend. I have long seen through you. Fang Fang did not listen to Huang Yan's explanation at all. She smiled sweetly a couple of times, turned and ran out of the hospital. Huang Yan stood still, an expression of disbelief mixed with sadness. Bite your lips tightly. Tears have long been flowing down my cheeks, as if bearing a tremendous blow. I sighed and walked over to Huang Yan, whispered words of comfort. Don't stoop to his level. Fang Fang is no longer the same. Do you know that Fang Fang? He did not offer the dominoes as I requested, not just making random wishes. It also angered the spirits within the dominoes. Now the supernatural has begun to backfire on Fang Fang. Those negative energies affected Fang Fang's mind. He has a bad temper, a bit sharp and caustic, affected by the domino effect. It will only become more twisted and obedient. I can no longer maintain normal thinking. Huang Yan feels an immense sadness. Crying, she leaned her head on my shoulder. He gasped loudly. But we have been good friends for so many years. How could Fang Fang say that about me? He has a bad temper, frequently offends others. Every time, it's me who helps him resolve conflicts. Fang Fang trusts me the most. He has never said such outrageous things to me before. I sighed heavily. It's said that Feng Feng's mental state has already been affected. Don't stoop to his level. Let's just assume this woman is mentally ill, since he insists on not letting us manage it. We don't need to keep putting on a brave face, licking someone's cold butt. It can't go on like this. Isn't Fang Fang's body going to break down even faster? Huang Yun is unwilling, even though Fang Fang just scolded me. Years of deep friendship. He still can't stand by and do nothing, crying and begging me. Wadan. Actually, I also bear some responsibility for Fang Fang's situation. If I don't constantly urge him to lose weight, it wouldn't have turned out this way. I beg you, help him. All right. I will try my best. I can't stand to see women cry, especially Huang Yun, still the one I love. Speaking of which, this is also part of my responsibility. Maybe I have no choice but to agree and find another way. Bring the yellow clouds. Caught up with Fang Fang again. Fang Fang did not go anywhere else. He ran out of the hospital. Immediately hail a taxi. It seems they are heading home. We hurriedly hailed another taxi. Hasty pursuit. Arriving at Fang Fang's doorstep, I just realized the main door has been locked by him. No matter how we look outside, Fang Fang had no reaction at all. Huang Yun is very anxious. Said to me helplessly, Fang Fang refuses to open the door no matter what. What should we do? How the hell should I know what to do? The Fang family's main door is so sturdy. You can't get in without a key. I might have to contact Zhu Bapi again. It indicates that something has gone awry. Zhu Bapi immediately replied after hearing my words. It seems this woman is deeply poisoned. Has completely fallen under the manipulation of the domino's resentment. Her condition is very dangerous. The spirit rebels against its master. It is usually a process that gradually deepens. At first, it was fine, until the mind is completely devoured by the heroic spirit. Even the immortals have no solution. I hurriedly asked Zhu Bapi for an idea. Zhu Bapi thought for a moment and said, "Let's do it this way. Urgent measure. I must find a way to get into this woman's room. Find the dominoes. Haven't you learned the revitalizing spell? Use your sorcery to suppress the resentment of the servant of the bone card. Perhaps it can delay the backlash from the spirits against her. Remember to be quick. The backlash from the heroic spirits often comes fiercely. According to Zhu Bapi's estimation, it seems that Fang Fang has been unlucky these past few days. Rely on. The big door is locked for me. How do I get in?" Huang Yun is still knocking on the door, begging to let Fang Fang come out. It seems Fang Fang in the room is getting impatient too. Behind the big door, he kicked the door shut with force. I faintly heard some chaotic noises, mixed with the sharp howls of the square. Roll, you all get lost. Do not disturb my peace. Just when Huang Yun and I were at our wits' end, the neighbor's screen door has opened again. It's still that uncle from the morning, peeking out with his head. Why are they arguing again? Do we still need a break? I rolled my eyes. Hurry over and say, "Elder brother, can you help me with a favor? Let me borrow your balcony. Just now, downstairs." I examined the layout of the community. This older brother lives in an end unit, next to Fang Fang's house, only a wall apart. The balcony distance is less than 3 meters. Perhaps we can climb over from his balcony. Neighbor brother, shake your head like a wave drum. Cannot be done. This is the 6th floor. What if you fall off the balcony while flipping? Whose responsibility is this? I said, if you don't agree to help, as his neighbor, still have to endure his torment. You can handle it yourself. The neighbor brother was speechless. Thought about it for a long time. Take a safety rope out of the storage room. Let me tie it around my waist. Okay, I cooperate with you. Please hurry and get the person out of here. If this continues, I'm about to go crazy too. At home, the adults and children, every one can sleep soundly. I untied the rope, with the help of Huan Yun, tied several dead knots around his waist, then stepped onto the stool, climbed up to this balcony. Indeed, on Fang Fang's balcony, having a bad relationship with the neighbors. But 3 meters apart, it's still quite difficult to overcome, especially the exterior walls of the community. There are no protective measures in place. Chongqing's terrain is truly unmatched. Below the 6th floor, there's also a viewing slope. Altogether, it's about 30 meters off the ground. I only took a glance. Just felt dizzy. Wanban, is it possible? Can't come down. Let's think of other ways. Huang Yun also felt. This method is too risky. Encourage me to go down and think about it again. The neighbor big brother became unhappy instead, cheering me on enthusiastically. Keep it up, young man. You can do it. Isn't it just 3 meters? It passed in the blink of an eye. I'm holding on to the safety rope for you. I rolled my eyes, taking a deep breath. In the early morning, I looked over from the balcony. Finally, I steeled my heart. Apply force with both legs simultaneously. Leaped forward suddenly. Fortunately, when Lord Huingsy taught me the shadow technique, I still haven't forgotten to hone my skills. My explosive power, stronger than most people. One step across the 3 meter space, balancing on one foot on Fang Fang's balcony railing for support. The body follows the momentum, charge straight ahead. With a clang, lying still on the floor, fell hard and landed face first. Mud horse! I hurt so much I can't catch my breath. It took a while before I finally got up, but found that Fang Fang's home was unusually quiet. It's taken so long. It is now 8 o'clock in the evening. The sky darkens relatively early. His living room has no lights on. Even the floor-to-ceiling windows on the balcony are closed. The curtains are drawn tightly. I can't see what's happening in the living room. I quickly untie the safety rope. The yellow clouds on that balcony gave me a worried look. Wan then, are you okay? Have you seen Fang Fang? SHH. I placed my index finger to my lips, gave him a subtle hand signal, then pressed his ear against the living room's floor-to-ceiling window, checked the situation inside. After a while, I heard a creaking sound. It sounds like someone is riding a bicycle. The sound of the chain clinking against the lamp. The frequency is very fast. What's going on? I thought Fang Fang would be going crazy in the living room. I didn't expect him to calm down so quickly. I feel out of place. Gently pushed the sliding window open. Opened the curtains a crack. The indoor lighting is dim. The living room is empty. Can't see anything else. I cautiously peeked my head inside until I adapted to the light in the room. This is when he finally turned his head, looking east and west. Their family conditions are indeed quite good. The living room is also about 50 to 60 square meters. It was pitch black inside. It feels very heavy. Fang Fang is not in the living room, but that creaking sound persisted. I examined it seriously for a while. The noise definitely came from the storage room on the left. They quietly tiptoed into the living room. Before I even got to the living room, I kicked a heavy iron lump at my feet. Almost made me lose my balance. Rely on. What is it? I looked down at the neon lights outside the community. I discovered it was a dumbbell for working out. What barbell? Spring, Leaky and similar devices. almost like a pile of small hills. The living room is almost filled to the brim. Looking at so much professional fitness equipment, I couldn't help but chuckle bitterly in my heart. It seems Fang Fang is trying to lose weight. It also took a lot of determination, but so much equipment. It's even more professional than a gym. Soon, I adapted to the light in the living room. Start walking towards the storage room. The storage room door is ajar. I stop at the door. Mao Yao looked inside. The scene that immediately caught my eye validated my judgment. Fang Fang is indeed working out. She entered the storage room. It has also been converted into a simple gym. At this moment, I am lying on the bicycle rack, pedaling the footpad with all my might. In theory, a woman is secretly working out at home. It's nothing strange. It's strange that Fang Fang just had a fight with Hue and Yun. Soon I'll come running to ride the bike. It's so dark inside, and the lights aren't even on. It's impressive that she can train in such an environment. What's even stranger is Fang Fang stepped on the bike chain. The sound of clattering echoes. The iron chain was almost sparking from friction, but she herself didn't feel tired at all. The whole person lay numb on top, staring blankly ahead. It seems light exercise. There was not a trace of expression on their face. I finally understand. Why was Fang Fang able to achieve this in such a short time? Lowered weight to the human limit. She didn't eat anything for a month due to her emotions. Still hungry while maintaining intense exercise. No wonder the neighbor complained that her house is very noisy. Every night I toss and turn, unable to sleep. Generally speaking, if it were someone else, in a state of continuous hunger, maintain such a high level of activity, the body should have collapsed a long time ago. He might have already exhausted himself at the gym. Qi Fangfang is not here. Her posture is perfect. The pedaling motion feels just like flying, especially that face filled with numbness. Not a trace of the burden and pain brought by exercise can be seen. It is obvious. This is a reaction influenced by the bone tapping. I dare not disturb Fang Fang. Slowly move forward, groping towards her master bedroom. The room was pitch black. The curtains in the master bedroom are also drawn, unable to see a glimmer of light. The absolute darkness makes my heart race. I felt a slight tension inexplicably. Her home is not only dark. A faint, elusive aura of negativity lingered in the air. The master bedroom is very cold. Even the hairs on my arms stood up. The negative energy is so intense. The backlash effect of this domino is too exaggerated. I tightened my throat and groped my way towards the wardrobe. Fang Fang mentioned. I hung the dominoes inside the wardrobe. As long as I can find the dominoes faster, there is a way to help her escape this state. But who would have known? When I opened the wardrobe door, while reaching in and fumbling around inside, a crisp sound suddenly echoed in my ear. Immediately after, a sharp pain shot through the back of the hand. It hurts so much that tears are welling up in my eyes. He withdrew his hand as if shocked, focused on the thing pinched between the back of the hand, instantly caught between laughter and tears. There is actually a mouse trap in her closet, and it's the largest size. I really am quite clumsy. Unexpectedly reached out his hand into the mouse trap. Wait a moment. How could a normal person put a mouse trap in the closet? It must be Fang Fang who deliberately put it here. I had a clever idea. Suddenly thought of something. Sure enough, the sound of the foot pedal in the storage room has stopped. I can feel it. Something is slowly approaching. A thick, ominous energy surged from behind. It gave me chills down my spine. Suddenly, a chill ran through me. Brother, I knew you would come." A hoarse voice suddenly rose from behind. I shivered in fear, quickly turned his head, just right to meet Fang Fang's eyes filled with red blood. Her eyes bulged larger than light bulbs, lifting the dumbbell over 10 kilograms with one hand, still probing at his teeth with his tongue, glaring at me with a sinister expression. The numb corners of the mouth twitched from time to time. It looked just like it was going to eat someone. Fang Fang, calm down. I quickly spoke up to stop it. Kefeng's movements were incredibly swift. A 10-kilogram dumbbell rushed towards me with a cold breeze, slammed hard against my nasal bridge. I am proud. I can't even imagine what would happen if this thing hit someone in the face. Her face is flatter than a pancake. It's good that my reaction is quick. Steady the waist and lean back. The dumbbell whizzes past the tip of my nose. Click. A hole was smashed into the wooden wardrobe. I was so scared that I shrank back, taking advantage of Feng Fan's momentary hesitation. Hurriedly, she lunged forward. It struck him on the neck like a whip. Even if an ordinary person doesn't immediately faint, at least I should cover my neck and hum for a while. But Feng Feng acts as if nothing happened, jumping on two legs. The body bounced up like a weeble. My forehead slammed into my chin. After a loud bang, I stepped back, holding my chin. The pain made me see stars. Older brother, Fang Fang reached out her hand, tightly gripping my neck, a grim and menacing expression. "It seems like you have a deep grudge against me." Speaking while grinding teeth, "None of your business. Why aren't you leaving yet? You're forcing me to kill you. You forced me to do this. You forced me." His eyes rolled back, showing 2/3 of the sclera. It looks like a peeled grape. The sly expression left me feeling incredibly cold. I had already guessed that he was influenced by the bone spirit's curse. I didn't expect it to get this serious. I felt suffocated. Fang Fang's strength is immortal. Maybe often. Lifting weights. The effect. It can't go on like this. I can only pick up the mouse trap that fell on the ground. Gave him a hard hit to the temple. That hit pretty hard. Fang Fang couldn't hold on. Slide down from me. I leaped up quickly like a car, howling fiercely. Scream. The sound was simply unforgettable. Unknown. I thought I had done something to him. Fortunately, I have learned the technique of the 1,000-pound weight. The foundation is very solid. He is suppressed to the point where he can't move. Then I could finally see clearly. Fang Fang actually wore that piece of domino on her body to prevent the dominoes from getting lost. Even stuffed it into her own underwear. No wonder it had such a big impact. I'm so angry my face is turning red. I had already told Fang Fang the badge cannot be worn at all times, especially cannot place it in too close to the heart and head. He is doing well. Just stuff the dominoes into the underwear, close to the heart. What the hell? Just looking for trouble. Give me the dominoes. I don't care about him at all. Reach out to grab the dominoes. Fang Fang screamed sharply. Give it back to me. Give it back to me. He frantically tugged, holding onto the dominoes tightly, unwilling to let go. In the struggle, the bra also tore open, revealing a lot of things that shouldn't be seen. Don't say this is actually quite impressive when he loses weight. All the fat on my body has decreased. Only the cup size hasn't changed much. It needs to be changed back to normal. I might not be able to hold back my nosebleed, but who can pay attention to those results? He forcefully pried open his fingers. He forcefully snatched the dominoes into his hands. You damn it. Give it back to me. Fang Fang's cries were more pitiful than a pig being slaughtered. It seems that once the dominoes fall away, it will make him feel uncomfortable. He got up against all odds. Unable to even manage sorting the underwear, he chased after me with his chest wide open. This disheveled appearance. It's almost giving me psychological trauma. Make up your mind. A kick flew up and struck him in the lower abdomen. Then he finally couldn't get up again, rolling on the floor non-stop. I kept stepping back, ran into the hallway outside the bedroom, turned on the living room lights along with the main light, looking down at the dominoes in hand. Suddenly gasped in shock. The statue in the middle of the dominoes has cracked, exuding dark yellow wet oil, and emitted a faint stench. Cracked areas extend with numerous web-like patterns. It looks particularly strange. I don't know how Fang Fang really supports him. Even the dominoes cracked. No wonder it's facing such severe backlash. Can't think too much. I immediately took out the chicken blood thread. Tie up the place where the dominoes exploded. With hands clasped together, they began to chant the resurrection spell. As the spell was chanted, the ominous energy that lingers on the dominoes, gradually retracting, Fang Fang let out a heart-wrenching scream of extreme pain, rolling on the floor with hands on head, like a fish that has jumped out of the water, begging loudly with a mouthful of please. I beg you, give it back to me. Give it back to me. With a sharp and piercing roar, it felt as if something had been pulled out of Fang Fang's body. She looks like a carp that has been hooked. Both legs are straight and tense. Trembled all over a few times. With my eyes closed. Fainted completely. I wiped the cold sweat off my brow. Stopped chanting the incantation. Wrapped the dominoes in red cloth. Red cloth has the power to ward off evil spirits and block negative energy. Evil objects are usually wrapped in red cloth for storage. He turned around and opened the living room door. Yuan Yan and the older brother from the neighbor's house immediately squeezed in, looking at the disheveled attire. Fang Fang lay on the ground, unconscious. Yuan Yan let out a sharp scream, hastily pounced on it. Help him fix his clothes. The neighbor brother gave me a thumbs up. Saioji. 2D. Now the dominoes have been suppressed by me. That resentment has also disappeared. That's why he fell into a coma. Huang Yun embraced Fang Fang, looked at me with great unease. Is it like this? Fang Fang is fine now. I forced a smile. It's not that simple. My revival spell only works temporarily. But there was no way to resolve the black magic on the dominoes. Just using one's own mental power, briefly covering the dominoes, temporarily quiet Fang Fang down. This approach is merely a superficial remedy. As time goes by, the domino effect will also impact Fang Fang, even more serious than now. What should we do? Fang Fang has become like this. She can't suffer any longer. Huang Yun caresses the place on Fang Fang's forehead that I injured, but the back of his hand was still bleeding. I won't ask or care. I am speechless, letting go and saying it. There's no other way. Let's split up and act separately. I took the dominoes back. You took Fang Fang to the hospital. I need to keep an eye on her during this time. Huang Yun was at a loss for words. What if Fang Fang wakes up? What should we do like just now? I shook my head and said I wouldn't, no matter how powerful the dominoes are. It's just a fob. It has already been suppressed by the revival spell. The farther the distance, the influence on the other party becomes smaller. Wait for me to send her back to Malaysia. Let the mate who made her. The above mantra has been lifted. Fang Fang can return to normal. Yuan Yan had no choice but to agree. Remind myself to be careful too. I chuckled darkly. Ying shook his head lightly and said, It's nothing. By the way, greet the neighbor brother. Have him quickly call 120 for help. As soon as I left Fang Fang's house, I squatted in the corner and rubbed my chin. Jai Nang Zai. Oh, it hurts so much, grandma. Another late night of tossing and turning, until the afternoon of the next day. I just arrived, weary from my travels. Returned to Zhu Bapi's shop. The rewrapped dominoes. It fell into Zhu Bapi's hands. Got it. Hurry and contact that Malaysian mage. Let him finish this thing as soon as possible. Zhu Bapi pointed at me. Bruised chin from being hit. Laughing carefree and without worries. You deserve it for meddling in the client's business. Fei Buting. I rubbed my chin and said, less talk. I am not you. Cannot do it. You are so numb and indifferent. The old man looked displeased. But still, the phone rang. Resent the dominoes. Get everything done. Next, we just wait for news. I called Huang Yun. Inquire about the situation over at Fang Fang's side. Huang Yun sighed and said, Fang Fang and King King are still relatively stable. It's just that my body is very weak. After waking up, my mind felt a bit foggy. I said this is a normal situation. His mind has already been clouded by the spirit of the dominoes. Completely bewildered, not knowing what I'm doing at all. Just stay by his side. It will be fine in a few days. Put down the phone. I noticed Zhu Bapi was looking at me sideways. I hurriedly asked him what was wrong. The old man chuckled darkly. Shaking his head, he said it wasn't much. Even if I feel you, young men are a bit strange. What's strange about what I said? Is it okay to keep it like this? It is you who has become numb and indifferent. Can't stand those with ulterior motives. Sometimes you need to learn to find your own reasons. Zhu Bapi sneered disdainfully. We are in the business. Do you think this is a charity hall? I've told you several times already. This line is a one-time deal. Don't ever do business with strangers again. You might end up getting caught in it yourself. I scoffed. I haven't said anything about you yet. To make money. Can do anything. Knowing full well how dangerous dominoes are. You still want me to sell it to Fang Fang. Zhu Bapi was displeased. Spoke with confidence and righteousness. How can this be my fault? You should see what grievances Fang Fang has against the dominoes. I have emphasized this to you many times already. The client does not provide offerings as required. If it fell, why should I be blamed? I'm too lazy to argue with him. After this incident, I think I've figured it out. Although parrots are quite powerful, but it's simply not suitable for ordinary people. It's better to avoid it as much as possible in the future. About another week had passed. Zhu Bapi received an overseas call. Find me, I say. It's all taken care of over there. You call and ask that girl, Huang Yun. Check how this square is doing. I hurriedly followed suit. Quickly contact Huang Yun. Huang Yun's statement finally relieved my worries. He said Fang Fang's consciousness has returned. Recalling this absurd experience, I find it unbelievable myself. I let out a breath. It's good to be awake. Huang Yun then said with a bitter smile, What's so good about it? He is in very poor health. Many organs have developed problems. The doctor said I need to stay in the hospital for at least half a year for treatment. There is more. Fang Fang has started binge eating again. I'm really worried he won't last long. You will gain weight back again, I said helplessly. Weight loss relies only on one's own willpower. He can't control himself no matter what. I can't do anything about it either. Let's leave it at that. After hanging up the phone, I found Zhu Bapi again. Threw out a question hidden in the heart. Lao Zhu, do you think this trip was a wasted effort? It took so much effort. Lion Fengfeng herself has suffered quite a bit. In the end, he has been hospitalized. Still can't control that mouth, Ju Bappy said with a grin. And his little brother, things in this world are often just so messed up. What cannot be sought cannot be forcibly taken. You take a look. This chubby girl was perfectly fine. You and Huang Yun girl, insisting on helping others lose weight, reduce and subtract. Haven't we returned to the starting point? He didn't forget to add a line. This is also a matter of cause and effect. All right. What exactly is causality? Actually, I still don't quite understand. I glanced at Ju Bappy's sneaky face. I always feel a sense of imbalance inside. We keep toiling back and forth, just thinking about Huang uncovering the 30,000 yuan for Fang Fang. I just feel heartache. Zhu Bappy instead spoke with confidence. That's how multinational business is. The handling fees are ridiculously high. This money wasn't earned by me alone. Even the master from Nanyang charges fees. You know, I am particularly curious. Let's talk about money first. You tell me first. Why was I able to get the dominoes? Are you familiar with people from Southeast Asia? Pity. Don't ask about that. Ju Bappy shook his head and swayed. Confidential business secrets should not be casually disclosed. Unless you can help me make a big fortune someday. Ensure I have a worry-free life for the rest of my days. I will train you to be my disciple. I will tell you all these business secrets. I scoffed. Forget it then. I'm coming to you. It's just to make a living. I don't want to be like you. Be a cunning and sly old businessman. Ju Bappy didn't hold it against me, patting my shoulder, talking about heartfelt connections with others. Little brother, I was just like you when I was young, with a passionate heart. Dare to fight, dare to strive. Later I understood. As long as you can endure hardship, there will be a lifetime of suffering that can't be ended. When we were young and poor, after years of hard work, finally no longer young, poor or still the same poor. In fact, there's nothing wrong with being a cunning merchant. There are many truths.